And we're here. I'm gonna have to move Paul's camera a bit so you can actually see him. There's Paul.
I want to see that.
There's Paul. Drink it in.
Drink it in.
Drink it in. Okay. Oh, nope. That giveaway is wrong. Give me a second to fix that giveaway.
Oh my God. You told me to do it, and I did it.
I'm so bad at that.
And I did it.
The very first time I did that, I screwed that up. So, close that giveaway. Let's make a new giveaway. Yeah, that's fine. It's your Twitch debut. Where I just screw up the giveaways for like half an hour. Okay. Yeah, let's copy and paste that in there. Ticket cost 0. Maximum tickets 1. Okay. Alright. I think that's fixed. Okay. And create and start. Okay. Should start in just a couple seconds. Alright. Looks like it's live. Alright. That's fixed.
Good.
And I mentioned I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to this stuff. Justin handles all that. Justin handles all the...
Where's the IT guy? That's what
I'm not an IT guy.
I know. Where's Justin?
Yeah, so, okay. This is part 2 of our wildcard series. Tomorrow night is part 3 of the wildcard series. I'm gonna have our friend Russell up here to play. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go pick him up, but
I
Russell's,
figured that was a given.
Russell's coming up here, and we're gonna play Outer Rim, which is the Star Wars bounty hunter smuggler stuff.
Yeah, that game that looked fun, but I had to go to work.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet game. I got the chance to play it a little bit last week, so plan on playing it again tomorrow night on stream and to debut it because the game's still only a couple weeks old. So if anybody was on the fence about it, hopefully that'll let people know. The game's definitely worth purchasing.
But did you get any Crokinole converts? That's the real question.
Yeah, so that is a good question. I don't know if anybody was convinced by my and Doug's top tier play of Crokinole to buy it.
I would believe that.
Can you see if people are signing up?
They are.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I would believe that Doug was showing top tier Crokinole play, and Nathan was being the loser he was while we were losing Team Crokinole.
All right. If you press Alt Tab, that should be able to get you back to the other window. That way you can see chat. Okay. So, hello, Broderick, Harley, Ultra Gecko, Assembling Kings. How's it going, guys? Bryce, stupid. Thanks for showing up tonight. So, Paul is a card game veteran. However, Keyforge newbie.
That's true. That is true. Because Justin refuses to teach me.
Can the light be diminished on Paul's side? He looks like a ghost. No, Paul's basically a ghost.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe turn that one. Turn it. You're gonna have to pick up by the base.
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to see. Maybe I go around. Turn it. Yeah, like that. Maybe. Try that. Sit down. Slightly less ghosty. Slightly less ghosty.
We don't know yet.
A little bit better. A little bit better. I don't know.
I'm pretty white. I'm pretty
He's pretty
white.
Pale. He does work third shift, so he basically never gets to see the sun. So
right. I don't need the sun. We don't need the sun where we're going.
Yeah. That's about as best as I can.
Thank you.
Well, I'm at the limit. I'm at the limit of my expertise.
That is usually what the ladies tell me.
Paul does not have Justin's Mediterranean disposition, so
yeah, I'm not a whatever race Justin is.
So, all right. Anyway, the deck that you are entering to try to win is Adams, the Deacon of Planet Comics, and this is part of the series of decks where they gave decks based off the name of a store. So this is the Gamma Trade Show. You can see the watermark right there. As far as I know, this is not scanned. I haven't checked. But the deck is pretty interesting. It has a Maverick Nature's Call in it. So let me see if I can do this without giving the scanner away. So Maverick Nature's Call in Mars, which is pretty neat. It's got double Grommet and 2 routine jobs. So pretty neat deck overall. 1 control of the week, Screaming Cave, so you can like shuffle stuff in. You don't know what these cards do yet. That's where we're not for. we're not there yet. But yeah, pretty neat deck overall. Yeah, well, and you have 2 ammonia clouds too, so that actually combines pretty well. You can Nature's Call your guys before you ammonia clouds and then replay them, so that way they don't have any damage. Lots of neat stuff. I think this deck is probably still only an average, but it's got some play. Bait and Switch, which used to be great, but has been since nerfed. So anyway, that's the deck right there. I'll probably talk about it a couple more times tonight.
Oh, well, there's erratas that I'm not gonna know about.
Yeah, it's not important for this.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Let me check this deck. This deck doesn't have it, so you don't have to worry about it. And then, well, actually, so these are the starters. These are the decks from the 2-player starter from the first set.
Okay.
And these actually have like playtest versions of the cards. These cards aren't actually these decks are not legal,
right?
And the cards that are in this deck aren't necessarily printed the way they were in the rest of the set. And I don't even necessarily think it's balanced. The full moon in here is actually pretty gross. It like gives you an amber and then also gives you amber for each dude that you play. So this full moon is not like 100% accurate.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll get to that. Is there library access in here? I think there is. There is a library access in here. So this card has been errated, which is infuriating when you're trying to teach new people, is that like cards don't say what they...
Is there not a new starter deck for the new set?
No. Well, there is, but they just put 2 decks in it, 2 random decks, not fixed decks like that, which is fine, I think.
Yeah.
But I do think starting with the new set is more difficult because those decks are just more complicated.
Okay.
Starting with these decks, I think, is actually the way to go. Now, this deck couldn't abuse library access anyway. Library access now says, essentially, after you play it, it's removed from the game.
Okay.
But that's actually a terrible place to start the tutorial, is to tell you which cards don't do what they actually say. So, yeah, destroyed shenanigans as well. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with the basic rundown. There's 4.
I thought you were going to talk about your...
Oh yeah. You're right. I did go to a key bound today, a keychain, a chain bound tournament, and I played against 3 new people, which is pretty cool. Still had 4 people. So
it was you and 3 new people.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we actually get to look at each other's deck list before the game starts, and they're like, we don't know what your cards do. And I was like, well, but I get to see your deck list.
Are you telling me that you won this tournament?
I did win this tournament. I mean, there's barely any prize support at like chain bound tournaments anyway, so there's like promo cards, and they don't even print promo cards of these, right? Because the backs are all unique.
Fancy Flight.
Yeah. So what they do is they give out promotional stuff. So there's a lot of like markers and stuff like that, which is kind of cool swag to have. But there's like a ton of it out there at this point. So before we moved to the these stun tokens, we were using the promo kit stun tokens because they were the X-wing size cards, like the itty bitty cards. Yeah. So you could actually like put it over a card. You could still see like what the card was and whatnot. So those were pretty useful. All right. So, okay, we'll start at the beginning.
All right.
This is Keyforge.
Yeah, I realized what the game.
Have you heard of it?
You guys have only been playing this last, what, 4 or 5 months?
8 months.
8 months? Is
Yeah.
it 8 months?
Yeah, from like November.
Oh, yeah, it is 8 months.
Yeah.
I think my anniversary is like 7 months or 8 months.
Yeah. So, the goal of the game is to forge keys. You forge 3 keys, you win the game. This is an unforged state. This is the forged state. If you have this, you win. If you have this, you have not won.
Just sneak and just turn these over while you're not looking.
So that's actually Justin and I have done that, where we've just like forgotten to flip our keys at the end of a game when we're moving into the next game, because we have like so much stuff between the games that we got to do, that we have started games with keys flipped. Now in a tournament,
the quality of play here.
In a tournament setting, however, it's really easy to know the state of the game, because since these are like such huge events, you're paying very close attention to these. Now, there have been times where, that's what chat's there for, to remind us when to flip keys and when not to flip keys.
Reminders,
so there are these are big events that are really easy to keep track of. Now there was like a at the the dog has reintroduced herself.
Dog.
All right, the dog's just passing through. Just passing through. She goes where she wants. She's a big girl now. All right, so but there have been like tournament games where somebody forgot to flip a key, and like after a certain point you can't go back.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it's real easy to get ahead of yourself in this game. Like sequencing such like an important part of the game. You got
the key flips at the beginning of the turn, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Essentially, the first thing that happens is if you can forge a key, you do. Then you move to where you decide what house you're going to play for the turn.
You may or you
have to flip the key.
So really, your opponent should tell you to flip the key.
Correct. Correct.
If you forget.
It's one of those like errors by omission kind of thing. Your opponent could be like, "Oh, I forgot," and then my opponent couldn't flip a key kind of thing. But it's kind of on both people at that point to keep up.
Yeah, that's a good thing about Fantasy Flight. They make it very clear that your opponent has to remind you to do it.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, you're both kind of cheating.
Yeah. So now, if keys cost amber, you need 6 amber, and you flip a key. Pretty straightforward. The keys actually have great visual reminders on them. There's 6 places on the key. Now, there's like an asterisk that goes next to keys cost 6 amber, which we'll get to later.
I understand there's cards that make them cheaper or more expensive.
Exactly.
So.
Right. So I think that is one of those other things that complicates the beginning of the turn, remembering how much keys cost.
Right.
That's something we definitely get wrong or we miss. I missed it at the Vault Tour. I used an artifact that made my opponent's keys cost +3 because he had 8 amber. And I was like, I got him. But he had the dude that's like keys cost -1 in play, and so he forged for 8. And I don't think I would have done that if I had known that he was going to forge anyway. Like I probably would have tried something else since I couldn't have stopped him from forging. But regardless, anyway, you got 4 types of cards. And if you're familiar with Magic, this is pretty easy. Okay, there's no mana cost in this game.
You're acting like I'm not familiar with Magic.
There's no mana cost in this game. So nothing on this card will tell you what it costs to play. We'll get to that in a second. You've got actions. Simply put, a comparison, a parallel to Magic would be an instant or sorcery.
Okay.
Sorcery, I guess, because you can only play it during your turn, and it can't like interrupt other things. A lot of times, actions in this game, just game mechanics are typically handled one at a time. You don't have like complicated timing effects that can pile up. So you play the action, you do as much of what the card says as you can, and then it goes away. Goes to your discard pile.
Right.
Creatures, when you play a creature, comes into play tapped.
Okay.
At the end of your turn, not the beginning, at the end of your turn, that's when your creature's ready. creatures have a power, and some creatures have armor.
All right.
Power is both how much damage they can take and how much damage they deal.
Okay.
Armor prevents damage that would be done to them. So, and it is on a per turn basis, and it's any damage, not just creature combat. It also involves damage from actions or other effects. Armor can be a little bit tricky sometimes. Initially, it's pretty straightforward, but there are some cards that will. There's like a creature that gives armor to its neighbors, and so if its neighbor dies and another neighbor shows up, that neighbor now has armor.
Okay.
Even though technically the armor that he had given out before was gone, kind of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. Creatures, when they come into play, you have to decide left or right, and because creatures essentially make what's known as a battle line.
Okay.
So if this is the first creature you play, it's just out there, okay? And then when I play this creature, I have to decide if I want it to go to this side or this side of the creature.
Okay.
All right. Now, at this moment, both of these creatures are flank creatures.
All right.
Flank means it is the furthest to the left or the right. As soon as I play another creature, though, these are the flank creatures, and Snufflegator here is not a flank creature.
All right.
Now, Staunch Knight is particularly cares about the flank.
Okay.
He gets bonus power if he's on the flank.
All right.
So there are a lot of cards that will say flank or non-flank. Flank and non-flank is like a pretty good designator. We got the Snufflegators going in the chat.
Is that what those are?
Yeah, that's this guy right there.
Oh, sure is.
Yeah. So he's stream mascot around here. All right. So creatures, like I said, left or right when you play them. A lot of creatures, most of the creatures in the game have text on them one way or another. Like every other card game that's ever been printed, the text supersedes the rules of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We'll get to how you can use creatures in a little bit, but for right now, we'll stick with that creatures exist. Okay. You have artifacts. Artifacts, like creatures, come into play tapped.
Okay.
They are not added to the battle line. Only creatures go to the battle line. Artifacts are typically going to have some sort of action on them.
Right.
They could have a static ability. If it's a static ability, it won't say action. It'll just have text on it, and it just works. All right. So a lot of artifacts are pretty slow, but they do provide a renewable source of resources over the whole game. So if you play the Hallowed Blaster on one turn, and then on a later turn you want to use it to heal 3 damage from a creature, you just tap it to show that you've used it.
Okay.
And you get its effect.
Tapping.
I'm sorry. You exhaust.
Thank you. Tapping is a magic term.
Finally, we have upgrades, and these are basically like creature enchantments or equipment or something like that, where you play it on a creature that is on the table.
Okay.
You can play upgrades on your opponent's creatures, but there has to be a creature in play for you to play an upgrade.
Okay.
If the creature dies, is bounced, or leaves play for any other reason, the upgrade is discarded.
Okay.
All right. There is no restrictions on how you can play upgrades as far as houses are concerned. All right.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be in the same house.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Every deck is going to consist of 3 houses. This deck is Logos, Sanctum, and Untamed. At the start of the game, after you shuffle your deck, you're going to draw your opening hand, and then when it is your first turn, you pick one of the houses to play. And when you pick a house, that is the only house that you can use that turn. So if you say Sanctum, if this were your hand right here, these 6 cards, and you said Sanctum on the first turn, you could play Staunch Knight, you could put Protect the Weak on him, and you could play the Hallowed Blaster.
Okay.
You couldn't use these 3 cards. You would then draw 3 more cards. And then this would be your hand. And on at the end of the turn, these would ready. You draw up to your hand size, which in this case is 6. And we'll leave some of the more advanced concepts off the table for right now, because neither of these decks have stuff like archiving or chains. We'll get to that once we get into some real decks. So if this were your hand and you said Untamed on your next turn, you could play these cards, these 4 cards right here, but you could not use any of the stuff that's in play. All right?
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. Actions even tell you play on them to let you know that you're like playing the card. Now, when a creature is in play, it can be used in a number of ways. It can be used to fight another creature. In which case, you take your creature, exhaust it, pick the enemy creature that they're fighting.
So any enemy creature?
Any enemy creature.
As long as it doesn't have that taunt?
Yes. Yeah, taunt is a keyword. It's explained on the cards. But yeah, you pick an enemy creature for it in the fight. They deal damage to each other equal to their power. And then if you have damage on you equal or greater than your power, you die.
Okay.
Armor prevents damage in fights. Pretty straightforward. Now, that's the first way.
Okay.
And often the incorrect way to use your creature.
All right.
The correct way to use your creature most of the time, but not always, is to reap with it.
All right.
Which means you just exhaust them and you gather an amber.
Okay.
You add it to your pool, and that's it. That's all they do. Now, some creatures have a reap effect on them. For instance, Doc Bookton here. Doc Bookton says reap, draw a card. So when you reap with Doc Bookton, not only do you get the amber, you also get to draw a card. If it's a Logos card and you said Logos for your turn, then you get to play it.
Right.
Now, drawing cards in this game is slightly less powerful than it is in other games, because you have like a pretty good chance of not actually hitting the house that you had just said. And if you draw a house that you don't get to use, it's essentially the same thing as drawing up at the end of the turn, but that's a discussion for another time. Some creatures have fight effects. And a fight effect only happens if this creature lives through the combat.
Okay.
And it's only if that creature is attacking. So if I had like I attacked your bat drone lived for some reason, you don't get the fight effect. It's only when you declare your guy as the attacker do you get the fight effect.
So he has to fight something and then survive too.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's pretty unlikely for him.
Well, he does have an ability called Skirmish.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that lets him attack without being dealt damage back. So that's once again one of those things.
So that would be one of the cases that you'd want to kill that creature.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You would want to attack into Bat Drone because he won't die typically fighting, and he's stealing amber, which is very good. So it's kind of like you're reaping with him, except you are like also getting to take amber from the opponent. Okay. So pretty good. And finally, there is the third way, and this is far less common, but some creatures have an action on them. And to use that action, you have to exhaust them. You exhaust them, and then you do whatever that action says. In this case, Maxina says return her to your hand. The reason that's good is because she says play stun a creature. So when you play Maxina on your turn, you get to choose an enemy creature to stun. Okay. Stun is a keyword that you put on a creature, and the next time that creature would be used for anything, whether you try to reap with them, whether you try to fight with them, whether you try to use their action, that creature instead is just exhausted and they lose their stun. Okay. So cards that have amber pips on them, when you play that card, you get an amber for that, and it's just added to your pool. So there are some very good cards that have lots of amber pips on them. Dust Pixie, for instance. does not have any text, is only 1 power, so not particularly good in a fight, but gives you 2 amber when you play it. And you need amber to win.
Okay.
So, okay. Now, that is the basics of it. Let me flip through here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So, yes, you can also discard cards, which is often correct. If you have a card that's situational, usually better to just pitch it if it can't be used.
I was going to ask if there's any way to discard cards.
There is, yeah. But it has to be of the house that you said for that turn.
Okay.
Now, one of the rules that I think is the most difficult for card game veterans to wrap their heads around in this game is the do as much as you can rule. So if you play a card that has some restrictions on it, you do as much as you can.
Oh, it's like Star Wars Destiny. They have that rule.
Okay, yeah. So in this game, there are like several cards. Lost in the Woods, for instance, says choose 2 friendly creatures and 2 enemy creatures. Shuffle each into its owner's deck. If you have no creatures in play, you choose 2 enemy creatures and shuffle them away. So that's a good case for a do as much as you can. Okay. Now, if they don't have any and you have 2, you'd have to shuffle your guys back in. Yeah. So that might be a case where you'd want to pitch it instead of just gaining the amber. Another example of the do as much as you can, there's a couple creatures in this game and several cards that say you may ready and fight with a neighboring creature. Now this card is very good for instructional purposes because this breaks the rules in 2 ways. If I have, say, Snufflegator or Bat Drone on the table and I play this guy, he says ready and use a neighboring creature. This guy. This guy is not House Sanctum. Doesn't matter. This guy's breaking the rules. So this guy lets you use guys out of turn. So pretty good. Now, if you play a Sanctum creature, let's say it's like turn 2 and I didn't play anything on my first turn. Actually, Maxna is a bad example for that because Maxna would like stun herself when you played her. Like this guy, Champion of Naphiel. So you play Champion of Naphiel. And then you play Sergeant Zakiel. I have no creatures on the table. You ready him, and he goes to fight. There's actually nothing for him to fight. Okay. So the action ends with him ready. Now, you said Sanctum for the turn. He's ready, so you can use him to reap.
Okay.
So that, I think, is like a really important thing to understand pretty early on. Just the do as much as you can kind of thing. And you'll see it pop up all over the place. Now, these decks, I think this deck is better. However, this deck can beat this deck. So a lot of times when I'm teaching people to play the game, I'm like, this deck is better, but this deck is good. And so they're like, okay, well, I'll take this one. And then they get like curb stomped by this deck because this deck's doing a lot of unfair things.
So give me this one. That's unfair.
Yeah. So I have Logos, Sanctum, and Untamed. You have Brobnar, Dis, and Shadows. If you want just like a brief overview of each of those houses, Brobnar are big giant dudes that are very concerned with fighting.
All right.
Dis are demon dudes who really like to subvert, so they have a lot of like control kind of effects. And then Shadows are a bunch of filthy thieves who steal from you all the time. So stealing amber is exactly what it sounds like. You take amber from the opponent's pool and you add it to yours.
Okay.
Captured amber is amber if a creature says capture amber, like the raiding knight in this deck, that means take amber from the opponent's pool and put it on him.
Okay.
And if he leaves play for any reason, you get that amber back.
All right.
Now there are cards that will capture amber onto like the opponent's own creatures. If your opponent has amber on a creature and it dies, you get that amber.
Okay.
So now we do have a designated Archon place for the Archon card. I don't want to upset the stream with the improper placement
Stream will
of
be
the. All right. So you randomly determine who goes first, and it's compulsory. If you go first, you draw 7 cards, but you only get to play 1 card on the first turn. You can mulligan.
No, I know Stream Mult too well. That's why I said it.
So the when you mulligan, you take your whole hand and throw it back, and then you shuffle and draw again. So you're going first.
All right.
So you're gonna draw 7, and I will draw 6. I have 6. You have 7. You get to play 1. Sure. I'll keep this hand. One of the from like a strategy point, you really want to think through not just your first turn but your second turn. Like, what can my opponent do? They're probably going to play some dudes, oftentimes you end up in like this weird situation where you're trying to decide if you want to play one guy of a house that you're not going to activate for a while, or if you want to play a card from a house, hope it survives, so that then you can use it again on turn 2.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'll play Brobnar.
Okay.
No. Oh. These cards aren't very good.
You can mulligan.
So if there's no penalty, mulligan.
You shuffle your hand away, and you draw 1 less card. Now, the thing is, you draw up to your starting hand, to your hand size of 6 at the end of every turn. So if you're going first, you can only play 1 card anyway. So you actually get to see an extra card if you mulligan. Because you'll go down to 6, you'll play 1 card, and then you'll draw back up to 6. So I do think that if you're not happy with a hand, I would throw it away and try again. So, but then again, you don't know anything about this game, so it's kind of hard to tell you when to mulligan. So
yeah, okay. I guess I'll just play Brobnar and play Loot the Body.
Okay.
Wait, no.
We'll
just mulligan. Just mulligan.
The shame mulligan.
The shame mulligan.
That'd be the magic misclick shame concede.
It's the snap concede.
The snap concede. Yeah, Loot the Bodies would do nothing there. You'd basically be discarding it. So
they're unhappy with this. I'm just gonna fix that. But they don't care about the keys. I see that.
So the problem is that the mat is actually too wide for the camera. So we have to, like, we can cover like the 1 key slot, but like the other 3 key slots aren't actually visible on the stream. So
you guys can't be too unhappy about that.
All right.
Play this.
Okay.
Play this guy.
Okay, Stealer Souls. He's very good. Purge is a mechanic that means it is removed from the game. Normally, whenever a creature is killed or an action is played or any number of things happen to cards, they go to your discard pile.
Okay.
If something is purged, it is removed from the game. Your discard pile is important because if you go through your whole deck, you actually get to shuffle your discard pile and draw some more. So, all right, how many cards in your hand?
5, so I get to draw a card.
Yep, you do.
Unless I'm a discard card.
You can't. On your first turn, you can only play, draw. You can only play or discard one card.
It's fine.
So,
it's fine.
Now, Stealer Souls is ready.
Oh, yep.
All right, and I am going to say Untamed.
All right.
I am going to play Full Moon.
Okay.
And that says, for the remainder of the turn, I gain 1 amber each time I play a creature.
Okay.
I'm going to play Witch of the Eye. She has an ability that says, Reap, return a card from your discard pile to your hand.
Ew, that's pretty good.
And then I'm going to play Snufflegator.
No, Snufflegator.
And get an amber for that as well. And then those will be the cards I can play. And that will be my turn. I will tell you to go ahead, and I will draw 3. Yep. Snufflegators.
I will say this again.
Okay.
Play Fear to
Okay.
return this guy to your hand.
Okay.
Then I'll play Mind Barb.
Okay. Make me discard a random card. And that does have an amber pip on it.
Oh, yep.
So you do get an amber for playing that. Alright, you got Kyo, the Adventurer.
Alright. And then I will fight your Witch of the Eye.
Yep, so she's going to die, and she will actually get purged. Damage is permanent in this game. So she does 3 damage back to you, and you do get an amber. He has to live, so if he fights somebody else, they don't get purged, or if he fights somebody else and he dies during that process, they don't get purged, you don't get an amber.
Okay.
So.
I'll play this Schuler.
Okay.
Alright, that'll be it for me.
Okay, so those guys ready, and then you draw back up. Alright, I am going to play Raiding Knight, and he captures an amber when he's played.
Boo.
I'm going to play Shield of Justice. It makes it so my creatures can't take damage for the rest of the turn.
Okay.
And then I am going to play Protect the Weak on the Raiding Knight. So he now has Taunt, which is an ability that makes it so if he had neighbors, you couldn't attack them. You have to attack him first.
Okay.
It only works for the neighbor creatures. So if I had like creature here, and a creature here, you couldn't attack these two, but you could attack that guy because Taunt doesn't extend past just the neighbors. It also gives him +1 armor, so he does have 3 armor now instead of just the 2. And that'll be my turn. I have 5 amber, so that's not quite enough to threaten. When you have enough amber to threaten, you're supposed to tell your opponent check. But in this case, I don't. So
okay.
It is your turn.
And cards that do damage, it affects armor, right?
Armor affects them, yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Armor does block the damage.
Okay. I will play an artifact. I'm gonna play
Tapped.
Exalted.
Yeah.
Okay. Wanted to be sure. Okay, I will do.
Oh.
What?
I didn't see those, but that might be worth checking out. Stickers for deck boxes.
I'll say this again.
Okay.
Alright, play this bauble.
Okay.
And I will just reap.
Okay.
Then I'll play this guy. I will say go.
All right. going to say. I'm going to say Sanctum here. I'm going to have the Raiding Knight fight the Toxin.
Okay.
He's got 3 armor because of the armor there, so Toxin will die. He won't take any damage. Now, his armor is done for the turn. If I were to use him again, his armor would matter. Actually, this is an example of sequencing. I'm going to Reap with this guy first to go to 6. Then I'm going to play Sergeant Zakiel to ready him and have him fight Toxin. If I readied him and had to fight with him, I'd have to run him into one of your guys.
Gotcha.
And the only way I can threaten this, well, I can threaten other ways, but this gives me like a clean way to threaten. And then I am going to play Cleansing Wave. That heals 1 damage from each creature. He didn't actually take any damage. But your Stealer Souls will get healed, and then it gives you 1 amber for each amber that was healed. So that'll send me to 7.
Okay.
That'll give me check, and I will tell you to go ahead. I will draw 2. Your Dominator Bauble is also ready.
Okay. I will do this.
I do think Keyforge does need some sort of like marketing something right now to make it more like interesting right now, because I think the game is definitely in kind of like a lull, because we're 6 to 8 weeks away from like the or past the new set, so.
Alright, I will.
So I think like there's like waning enthusiasm for the game.
Play Poison Wave.
Okay.
So 2 damage to each creature.
Yep. So Zakiel will take 1. The Raiding Knight will prevent that damage. You do get an amber for playing that.
I'll play Urchin.
Okay. So he steals 1. He is exhausted when he comes to play.
Play another Urchin.
Yep, that'll steal another one.
I'll play Nerve Blast.
And stealing a 3rd.
And then I'll do that.
Okay. So he is close to dead now.
Alright. And what do I say? Check? What?
Yep, you say check. That's
like
exactly what you say. You say check. You've got 7 amber there. Well, I can't stop you. I can shoot some kids. So we're probably going to do that. I'm going to say Logos. I'm going to play Library of Babel. Just action, draw a card.
Okay.
I'm going to play a Bat Drone. And then I'm going to play another Bat Drone.
Goddamn Bat Drones.
And then I'm going to play a Twin Bolt Emission. It lets me deal 2 damage to a creature and to then deal 2 damage to a different creature.
Okay.
So I'm going to shoot that Urchin for 2, and then I'm going to shoot the Stealer Souls for 2.
Okay.
Those guys are dead. And it is your turn. I will draw 4 cards. I didn't make it back to check. But it's your turn. At the start of your turn, you spend 6 amber and flip a key. Yep.
Alright, I will say Brobnar. I will punch one of the
Bat drones.
to death.
Okay. Bat drone's been punched.
Smash.
Okay.
Hit your other bat drone.
Sure. He's stunned. Where you been, Bill? You would know this is the wild card series. While Justin's out on a business trip.
That's So is that what they call it now?
That's what I'm calling it.
Play Headhunter.
Okay.
And then I will play Blood of Titans.
Oh man, that guy's big now.
Alright. That is it for me.
Okay. I think I have to say logos here. I'm going to draw a card with the Library of Babel.
Good.
The Bat Drone. I'm going to try to use the Bat Drone, but all it does is get rid of the stun. Oh, you didn't gain your amber for the upgrade.
Oh, but
the tourney's going fine. We're almost halfway through the first round. Justin is out of town on business, so we are doing what's called the wild card round. So the Wednesday night was Crokinole. Tomorrow night's going to be Outer Rim. Tonight I'm just doing Keyforge tutorial with a roommate who hasn't learned how to play the game yet, because Justin's neglected him. So I am going to play a Dr. Escatera, and it says play, gain 1 amber for each key your opponent has. So you have 1 key, so I'll get 1 amber. I'm going to discard Dimension Door. This card is pretty good, and it says for the remainder of your turn, any amber I would gain from reaping is instead stolen from your opponent.
that's pretty good.
But I don't have a chance to reap with any of my Logos guys this turn. And then I'm going to play Mother. Mother says during your draw step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. So I'm going to draw up to 7 instead of 6.
Okay.
So I am back to saying check with 6, and then I will draw up to 7 cards. And it is now your turn.
Alright, I'm going to say...
I have check, so I think I said that, but I'll
Oh,
make sure to say it again.
I cannot stop that, so...
Music to my ears.
Yeah. Alright.
This does bring a smile to my face.
So I'll say Brobnar.
Oh no, you're gonna start punching my guys.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna punch him. Alright, so Headhunter is going to destroy this dude.
The Raiding Knight. Okay.
Yep.
So you're gonna get this amber back. The Raiding Knight will punch the Headhunter.
Yep.
The Raiding Knight will die. You needed
And
7.
And I get 1.
Yes. Yep. You gain 1 amber for that.
Okay. Alright. And then I am going to play a Gengar Chieftain.
Oh boy.
And then destroy your battle drone.
Okay. So you'll take 2. My Bat Drone will die. He gets his fight ability, so you get another amber.
Alright. And then I'm going to anger already
God.
now. And then kill your mother.
Okay. So both guys will die. You won't gain the 1.
Oh, you don't gain the 1?
Yeah, because
Okay.
he has to live through the fight
Gotcha.
to get the fight ability.
Yeah,
But
don't matter.
yeah, you did kill a bunch of guys. So
Alright, and then Smash will just reap.
okay, send you to 7.
And check.
All right. So I will forge my key, and I have to decide what to do here. I could play more cards with Untamed, so I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I can get some work done with Sanctum, though. And this is like laying some groundwork kind of stuff. But I think I gotta go with... Untamed. Let's take a look at the old discard pile real quick. Okay. So, I am going to replay Snufflegator. He's back. I'm going to play a Dust Pixie, and that's going to get me 2 amber.
Alright.
I am going to Cooperative Hunting. So, this does 1 damage for each friendly creature in play. So, I have 4 friendly creatures.
Yep.
And we divide this damage among any number of creatures. So I'm going to do 1 damage to my own Dust Pixie. I'm going to do 1 damage to your Urchin. That leaves me with 2 damage left. And I think I'm going to shoot both of these guys for 1 each.
Oh, you're about to gain a bunch of amber off the card.
I am going to play Regrowth. And what that's going to do is it's going to let me return a creature card from a discard pile to my hand. So I'm going to get the Dust Pixie back.
Okay.
And I'm going to replay the Dust Pixie to get me some more amber.
You son of a bitch.
And that will be my turn. I'll tell you to go ahead, and I will draw 3. Oh, yeah, 3. 2 and 3. And
All right.
you do Forge.
All right. I will say this. Play this dude.
Yep.
Charette. Alright. I'll mind barb you.
Ugh. If you're Justin, you discard the Cleansing Wave.
Well, I hope I'm Justin. Keyforge is pretty fun. I did get the cleansing wave.
Oh my god. Paul's incredible at this game.
Alright. I will play the terror.
Okay, I do have Amber.
I know, I seen it. I will reap here.
Yep.
I'll use the bubble to ready something.
It doesn't ready.
Oh, it says use.
Yeah.
So I'll reap here.
Sure.
Alright.
Okay. So it is my turn. I have to say Sanctum. I'm going to play Hallowed Blaster, which is an artifact that lets me heal. I am going to play a Raiding Knight. He's going to capture 1 from you.
Okay.
I'm going to play Champion Nafiel,
Alright.
who is going to... he has Taunt, so he's going to protect my Raiding Knight for me. I am going to play Lady Maxna.
Okay.
She's going to come into play. She's going to stun one of your guys.
Alright.
We're going to stun... I think we're going to stun Ganger Chieftain. It's probably all about the same at this point. And then Zakiel is going to trade with your Charette to get this Amber back under my control. And that is my turn. I will tell you to go ahead. I will draw. And it is your turn.
Alright, I will say this.
Your Dominator Bobble is ready.
Oh, yeah. No matter. This. I will use Seeker Needle to kill the pixie.
So that is actually an artifact.
Oh.
So you do have to play it first. And that's a Shadows card.
Okay, I mean,
You meant
Shadow.
Shadows? Okay.
Yeah. I've confused myself.
There are a number of reasons why you can't do the thing that you think you can do.
Right, yes.
But alright, but saying Shadows, so you play Seeker Needle.
Yep. I will play Silvertooth.
Okay, yep. Enters play ready, so you can immediately use them.
Okay. I will play Shadow Self.
Okay.
I will play Naughty the Thief.
Yep. That is action.
Oh, it's action.
Yeah, yeah. So he has to be ready, and then he
Okay.
can just do that as an action.
All right. It's fair. It's fair. I will play Too Much to Protect.
Okay.
So,
Just get you an amber.
Yep. And I will. I'll just kill the ticks. Dust Pixie. No. Probably want to reap, don't I?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because if you said shadows again, you could use the secret needle to kill the dust pixie.
Right, yeah.
Get an amber for it. So
Okay.
you're pretty close. It makes it so I can't like trade the rating knight off because then you'd have 6 and you could just win. So okay. All right. So my turn. All right. We're gonna say Logos, and I'm gonna draw a card with Library of Babel. And I am going to play Library Access. So this card is actually purged after I play it now.
Okay.
But for the rest of the turn, whenever I play a card, I get to draw a card. Yeah. So the thing with Library Access is that with Nepenthe Seed, which is a untamed artifact that would let you pull a card from your discard pile.
Gotcha.
You could play Library Access, use a Nepenthe Seed that you had in play because it was a card that had the keyword Omni on it, which meant you could use it during any turn. You could use it to get back Library Access, replay Library Access. You draw a card from your first effect of Library Access, and now whenever you played a card, you would draw 2 cards, and it was very. You could engineer board states where you draw your whole deck. So they definitely took Library Access out in the yard and shot it by making it so it's purged. I think they could have changed it to just have like a keyword on it to keep it from being abusive. Okay. So now it's just like a lot less exciting because if I go through my whole deck and draw Library Access, or I can't go through my whole deck then redraw Library Access. Okay. So all right. Play Wild Wormhole. I play Wild Wormhole and I draw a card from Library Access. And then Wild Wormhole plays the top card of my deck, which is a Wild Wormhole. So it plays the Wild Wormhole, and I draw a card. I get the amber for playing the Wild Wormhole. And then we play the top card of the deck, which is a Snufflegator. We'll throw Snuffy over here. When we play Snufflegator, we draw a card. Did I draw the card for Snufflegator? I don't know. No, I did not. So draw a card for Snufflegator. Okay. So now we're going to play a Doc Bookton, and that's gonna shuffle my discard pile because I have nothing to draw, and then I'll draw a card from my discard. So I hope it's a Wild Wormhole.
I hope it's not.
Okay. Okay.
Nathan promises me the world with this deck. I'm just gonna beat my face off.
I'm gonna play Kia and draw a card. We're gonna play a Wild Wormhole. Alright, so we draw a card.
Gone Infinite.
And play the top card of the deck. It's a Rating Knight. So Rating Knight's gonna come down here and he'll capture one from you. And then I'll draw a card from playing the Rating Knight. I am going to play Twin Bolt Emission. So that's going to do 2 damage to... I'll do 2 damage to both of these guys, but what actually happens is the Shadow Self takes all the damage.
It's non-specters.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, so both these guys are Elf Thieves. It's just if you had 2 Shadow Selves next to each other. Alright, and then draw a card from playing Twin Bolt. And that's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's all I got. I have this guy left. I think this guy has to do something big here. I think he has to reap. Okay, that'll be my turn. Now, I have 9 cards in my hand, which means that I don't actually get to draw up at the end of this turn. And it is your turn. I will say check with 10.
Okay. I will say shadows. So I will steal 1 amber.
Yep. Stolen. What's that game called? Hey, that's my penguin.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Hey, that's my amber.
I'll nerve blast.
Oh, steal more. Go get your own amber.
And I'll deal 2 to.
That is ready, by the way.
Oh. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it?
I got their got their moments before Harley did.
I'll do it to this guy. Sure.
Okay. Escatera. Shot my poor man, right. Escatera.
Seeker Needle, I will kill the pixie.
Yep.
Gain 1 amber. I'll play Bad Penny. Play Dodger. Reap. And I will reap. Alright, check.
Okay, so I forge. That'll send me to 2 keys. Now, I have to stop you. Are you ready for me to stop you? How much amber do you have?
I have 10 amber.
10 amber?
No, 9 amber.
9 amber? I can't actually stop him.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Now, if this were like a tournament, untamed deck, I could try to like key charge to win the game, and I can actually generate quite a pretty sum of amber on the next turn, but I will lose because I can full moon into a hunting witch, which then makes it so that all my guys give 2 amber when I play them. Play a Niffle Ape, and I've generated 3 amber, 4, 5 amber, 6, 7 amber, and I can Lost in the Woods and shuffle in like 2 of your guys. But that's it. I generate a ton of amber, but I cannot stop you. And at the start of your turn, you will win. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
You now have to take my place on the stream. So, that is how to play the game with the introductory decks. If you want, I've got I did bring my other stuff with me, so we can grab some decks out of here if you want to go with those.
Yeah.
And try to like learn some more of the complicated stuff. This deck looks like it's got some good stuff going on. Got some more complicated stuff. And let's see if we can get a deck that's got... Okay, this deck has Mars in it. Okay, so Mars was a house that you did not see. Mars is the 7th house in the game. These 2 decks, I believe these decks actually were first premiered during the March Madness tournament. I think these decks are like pretty equivalent. I think this box is like all decks that were about the same power level or so. So we should have a good game, regardless of which deck you choose here.
So let's go with the Mars deck.
Sure. That is how we know that you have not played the game.
Yeah, I understand Mars is the worst.
It's actually pretty good in the second set. It's like much better in the second set. And I don't think Mars is that bad as people, but there are some really gross Mars sides that just don't do anything. You spend like the whole game just fighting the cards in your hand, trying to get rid of them. There's just like some anti-synergy. All your guys are like really small, and then you play like ammonia clouds, and that does like 3 damage to every creature. So you just end up in a lot of board states where you can't use all of your cards all the time. Now, when you have Mars decks that have a good spread of like Amber control, some decent dudes that can fight, and then like some of the more abusive synergies, Mars can be pretty ugly. There's like some really powerful cards. I had a Hypnotic Command played on me today. Hypnotic Command says for each Mars creature you control, an enemy creature captures 1 amber from their own side. So you play like 3 dudes in a turn, then play that card. They just take 3 amber off their side, stack it on one of their guys, and then when it dies, you get all that amber back. So
look, the victory will be more sweet because I beat you with the Mars people.
Okay, we'll roll. So you goes first. I have a 6. You have a 12. I believe that makes it so that you go first.
Probably.
I have 6 cards. You draw a 7. I think this hand is a keeper. The 2 decks are the Ancient Entropist and Du Quesnai, the Scrivener of Dark Gus. For anyone playing along at home. I don't have those. I think I can. Maybe I can type in here.
I will say.
See if the bot is still around. There we go.
Say Mars. Wait, no, not Mars. God dang it.
Du Quesnai. That was multiple Du Quesnais. It's not that Du Quesnai.
It's not that one. I'll say this. I'll play this Dust Imp.
Does the Archon bot not like commas? I never have to type in this thing. For anybody who has joined us since the beginning of that game, we're doing a giveaway tonight. I have a Gamma deck. I'll spend a couple seconds shilling it. So Gamma deck right there. I believe it is unscanned, so unclaimed. The deck is called Adams, the Deacon of Planet Comics. We could even ask Archon Bot if it's been scanned. Okay, yeah, so it's unscanned. The deck does have a Maverick Nature's Call in it. It's got bait and switch, but that's slightly less powerful. It does have routine jobs, and Control the Weak, Screaming Cave, Grabber Jammer. It does have 2 Gromids, which is pretty bad, but it does have Nature's Call to go with your Ammonia Clouds. So Dis Mars Shadows, Maverick Nature's Call. So yeah. Alright, so my turn. I am going to say Logos, and I'm going to play Mobius Scroll and archive it and up to 2 cards from your hand. Now,
okay.
The archive is a zone that is not in play. Not like the cards there aren't in play. They can be referred to and they can be interacted with in a number of ways, but they're face down. I believe they're supposed to be under like your Archon card, but a lot of times it'll put them in a zone that's like separate and distinct from the hand. And At the start of your turn, after you forged a key, when you decide what house you want to play, you can decide to put your archive into your hand. Okay. It's a good way to set up larger turns. So I'm going to play Mother, and I'm going to play Ganymede Archivist. So my hand size is now 7, so we'll draw up to 7.
Okay.
And that is my turn.
Oh, I guess I need to play this guy.
Yeah. I'll tell you to go ahead.
Okay. I'll play this again. This pit demon. This charette. And I'll reap.
Okay. Okay. So my turn. I am going to say Brobnar. I'm going to play Screech Bomb. Screech Bomb is an artifact. It says Omni, sacrifice it, and your opponent loses 2 amber. Omni is an ability that means you can play it during any house's turn that you say.
Okay.
So on a future turn, I can use the Screech Bomb. Right. I don't have to say Brobnar specifically to use it.
Gotcha.
I am going to play Smash. He's going to stun a creature. He's going to stun your Dust Imp. And then I'm going to play Ganger Chieftain. You may recognize him from the previous game.
Yep.
So I'm going to ready Smash, and he's actually going to trade with your Pit Demon.
Okay.
That's my Amber. And it is your turn. I will draw 2. No, I draw 3 because my hand size is 7 with the Mother in play.
I will I'll say Mars.
Okay.
Plays Crystal Hive.
Yep, Crystal Hive's a pretty good card.
Play John Smith here.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, play Soft Landing.
Okay.
Then I'll play John Smith.
Yep. Comes into play ready.
Then I'll play this Ray Gun on him.
Sure. Yep. You do get an amber for that card because it has a amber on it.
And then I will reap with him.
Okay.
So he does 1 damage.
Yep.
To a creature. I'll just say Mother.
Okay. Okay. I will say Logos, and I am going to Neurosiphon. So I get an amber for playing it, and if your opponent has more amber than you, I steal 1 and draw a card. So steal, and then draw. And
God damn it, Justin!
It's calling you a nerd.
It's not my fault I'm replacing you. Remember that time I threatened to replace Nathan? And then Nathan showed up?
I am... Mother is going to fight John Smith. Okay. And then the Ganymede Archivist is going to fight John Smith and kill him. John Smith is elusive.
Oh.
So that's why I had to attack him twice. Gotcha. The first attack wouldn't actually kill him. No damage would be done. But the second attack makes sure the damage is done. And then I'm going to play Wild Wormhole, and anything can happen. So we're going to play the top card of the deck. It's an Arise. So I guess I will choose Brobnar. So I return each creature of that house from my hand, from my discard pile to my hand. Now, this does give me a chain, and what a chain is something that makes it so that I draw fewer cards at the end of the turn. Now, normally we have chain trackers. I don't know where those are, but for the purposes of the stream, the chain tracker doesn't look very good on stream. So we use dice.
Okay.
If you have between 1 and 6 chains, that means you draw 1 fewer card at the end of the turn. So typically dice are a good indicator. If you had like 7 chains, you could show it like that. You would be drawing 2 fewer cards because you have 2 total dice at that point. So anyway, I've got 1 chain. So at the end of the turn, when I would go, it's also easier to put that on top of your deck as a visual reminder. So the last thing I can do is I can actually use this Mobius scroll, and I archive it and up to 2 cards from my hand. So I'm going to archive this card. Actually, I think I should probably archive something like... Yeah, I should archive this and this. Alright, so my hand size is 7, so I would draw up to 7, but the chain forces me to draw up to 6 instead.
Okay.
And anytime you're punished by a chain, you lose the chain. So this is going to go away. I'll draw up to 6, and it is your turn.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's kind of bad, but the cards are very powerful.
Yes, typically. Yeah, there's one card that I think gives too many chains. It's Phosphorus Stars. It's a Mars card. It says stun all non-Mars cards, all non-Mars creatures, and gain 2 chains. I think it's just like you have like a Sanctum card. It doesn't give you any amber. There's like a Sanctum card that says like choose a house, stun all creatures of that house. That gives you an amber for playing. No chains there. Like the Mars card is just bad. So. Yeah, you don't lose all chains. You lose 1 chain at a time. But yeah.
Okay.
If you're punished by a chain, you lose a chain.
Okay. I will do Untamed. I will play Curiosity.
Okay, so my scientists. Oh, my scientists.
Your scientists. They die.
Oh, no.
I'm getting amber.
They were just so curious.
Alright, I will play this Murmok.
Yep, the giant enemy crab.
I'll play another giant enemy crab.
Yeah.
And I'll play Fogbank.
Okay, so I cannot fight on the next turn.
And then I will discard this.
Save the pack. Okay. Alright, so my turn. I am going to say Dis. I'm going to play Hand of Dis. It says destroy an enemy creature that is not on the flank. So it's going to kill Murmuk. I'm going to discard another one because I don't really want to kill your Dust Imp and give you free amber.
Oh, but why not?
I am going to play a Charette. She's going to capture 3 from you. I am going to play a Guardian Demon. He doesn't actually do anything here. He could heal up to 2 damage when you play, fight, or reap with him, but there's no damage on the board. You killed my guy that had damages, that had damage on him. So, and then I'm going to play a Stealer of Souls, who you should recognize from the previous game as well.
Yeah.
And that'll be my turn. And I will draw 5.
All right. I will deep probe you. I will say Brobnar.
Okay. I have a cannon, which is an artifact that deals 2 damage.
Yeah.
I have a Screech Bomb, which one of those is already in play. I have a Fogify. I have another Wild Wormhole. I have a Rocket Boots, and I have a Charette. I have no Brobnar creatures in my hand.
Play this Zookeeper guy.
Yep. Yeah, he's good.
I'll play John Smith.
This
Bolter guy.
Oh no.
Alright. That'll be it.
Okay. Well, I gotta deal with these Martians because they're bad news.
Don't deal with the Martians. They,
Oh no,
they are friends.
I gotta deal with them.
They are friends to you.
All right, so we're gonna send So we're gonna say Dis. Charette is going to fight the Zookeeper.
Alright.
And then the Stealer of Souls is going to fight the Zookeeper. His soul has been stolen, so he is purged.
Right.
And I gain an amber for that. I will. I'll play another charrette. Just I kind of hate like playing them to not stop keys, but in this case I just gotta like play guys. And then the Guardian Demon is going to. I could reap with him, or I could fight with him, because I could have him fight like the Murmook or the Bolter. I think the correct call is to have the Guardian Demon fight the Bolter. So Bolter dies. The Guardian Demon can heal up to 2 damage from a creature, so he's going to heal up to 2 damage from himself. And then he gets to deal that to another creature, so he's going to deal 2 damage to John Smith, which will kill him. Oh, that's my archives. Okay, so that's my turn. I draw 1 card, and it is your go. Yeah, Zookeeper John Smith is nasty. Like, you just take dudes and throw them away forever.
Okay. I will say Dis.
Yeah, I can't leave any combination of that stuff alive with the Crystal Hive, because he'll just generate too much amber.
Oh, Hand of Dis.
Oh no.
This guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, especially with all my low
Low power guys.
Low power guy, yeah. Play Tucson. Stun this guy. Play Mind Barb.
Oh my god.
What don't you want me to get here?
This is all I got. Basically, I hate that card. Is the moral of the story. Oh my god.
And I will kill that guy.
Yeah. Get your amber back.
Need them ambers. That's it for me.
Alright, so my turn. I'm going to put my archives into my hand. And I am going to say Brobnar. I will Screech Bomb you to make you lose 2 amber. And then I'm going to play another Screech Bomb. I'm going to play a Cannon. I am going to play a Smash, who's going to stun your Dust Imp.
Mother of God.
And then the Ganger Chieftain is going to fight your Toxin there.
Okay.
Stop discarding cards from my hand. And it is your turn. I will draw 1.
Alright, Untamed. Play this Nepthine Seed.
Nepenthe, yeah. Or Nepentha. I've heard it pronounced a couple different ways, but we can go.
No, this matters. Alright, I'll play a Bear Flute.
Oh yeah, the card's cool.
Play an Ancient Bear. Nipple Ape. And Murmook will reap.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, so my turn. I'm going to start things off with the Wild Wormhole. Play the top card of the deck. Brothers in Battle. So get an amber for playing it. I Choose a house for the remainder of the turn. Each enemy creature, or sorry, each friendly creature of that house may fight. Yeah, that's how you play the game right there, Paul.
You just randomly get a good card.
Yeah, you just call a shot off the top of the deck. Yeah. We're gonna play. So I gotta choose a house. Do I want Brobnar or do I want Dis? I think Brobnar. They just fight better. They're just bigger. So we'll say Brobnar. I will play the Mobius Scroll. I'm gonna put Rocket Boots on the Guardian Demon.
Right.
And Rocket Boots is an attachment that says it gains Fight, Reap. If this was the first time it was used, you can ready it. And then I am going to play Fogify. So you cannot fight me on the next turn. So stop trying. The Gengar Chieftain is going to fight your Ancient Bear, and they will kill each other. And then Smash is going to fight your Murmook, and he will take some damage, but the Murmook will die. I'm going to say check with 7, and it is your turn. I will draw 4 cards. I think I should take this deck. Is pretty fun. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in this deck.
Deck seems a lot better than mine. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't know what you're doing is the thing.
No, I'm gonna make excuses over here. Let me make excuses.
Remember the Pin Seed is Omni, so you can use it to get any card back from your discard pile. So whichever turn your hand consists of your whole discard pile at this point. You get to pick your choice, yeah. So. Yeah, you got a lot of choices here, so. While Paul is thinking about his turn, we'll plug the giveaway again if there's anybody who has not entered it yet. We are giving away a Gamma deck that does have a Maverick in it, which is pretty sweet. So make sure you type in ticket 1 to enter the giveaway. I don't anticipate us playing another game after this one, Paul, based off the time. Considering neither of us have forged a key. Yeah. Neither of us have forged a key, so I don't think we'll probably get another game in after this. But yeah, so make sure you enter. That'll get mailed out sometime the next week.
All right, I will say Dis.
Dis. Okay.
Play Pandemonium.
Okay, that's a good one. So you get an amber for that.
Yep.
And then you capture. And then this guy captures.
Okay. I'll use this to return a card.
Okay.
I guess Pandemonium.
Okay.
So I'll play Pandemonium.
So those go on those guys. All right. Okay. Was the terror in your hand?
Yes.
You could have played him before you did the pandemonium stuff, so he would have captured Amber as well.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You play him now. If you were trying to like get his ability off, you couldn't have gotten it off. Like you couldn't have gotten it to like work anyway. But yeah, you could have played him, then the pandemonium, then nipped it back, and then played the pandemonium. So, all right. So my turn. I think I say Brobnar. I am going to. I'm going to Trimmer. Stun a creature and each of its neighbors. So he's stunned, and then his neighbors are stunned.
Son of a bitch.
Smash is going to Reap, so he'll get an Amber. I'm going to play War Drummer, and that returns each other friendly Brobnar creature to my hand. So the Smash will come back to my hand. I'm going to replay Smash. Well, your independent seat's gone. I'll play Smash, and I'll restun one of those guys. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I will use the cannon, and it's going to shoot the Dust Imp. So you will get 2 for that, but I'm going to get my 2 back. And that is my turn. I'll draw 2. And it is your turn.
Alright, I will say Mars.
Yeah, so I forgot to click the thing that like auto confirms. Basically, I'm bad at running the stream by myself. It's just that simple. That's how it is. So I'll go through and I'll before we close out the giveaway, I'll go through and like say everybody's name that is registered for it, just to make sure. So
Alright, I will say Mars. We'll deep probe you.
Okay.
And say this.
Ooh, well, those are gone.
Oh yeah. What we got here? Oh, that looks just fine.
These are what you discarded.
Oh yeah. That's what I like to see right there.
Oof.
Alright, I will play Dominator.
Okay, he's big. He comes into play stunned, but he's big.
Play a Marauder.
Okay, it's ready Mars creature, so he doesn't do anything here.
Play Custom Virus.
Okay, you do get an Amber for playing that.
Alright. And check.
Okay. So I'm going to say Brobnar. I'm going to use Screech Bomb to blow up 2 Amber from you. I'm going to play Fire Spitter. I'm going to Cannon to shoot the Marauder. And then the War Drummer and Smash are both just going to Reap. And I will tell you to go ahead, and I will draw 4. I do have check for now.
I will say this.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I could run the tabletop simulator stream by myself.
Alright. I will do Tendrils of Pain.
Okay. So it's 1 damage to everything. He has armor, so that's going to prevent the 1 damage that would be dealt to him.
I'll use Lash of Broken Dreams.
That is an action. I'm sorry, that's an artifact. So it sits in play and you can reuse it. So
my bad.
That is one complaint because you've tried this twice. Now the difference between artifacts and actions isn't distinct enough.
Yeah.
Artifacts have the name at the top. Actions have it in the middle. But that is oh, it's gotten a lot better. Yeah, Dominator doesn't have any damage on it because it's got armor. Yep. That's cool. I actually need to check that out. That mod then. So
I guess I'll do this.
Yep.
I use Poltergeist to.
Ooh.
I guess shooting your cannon's better.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, you can use it to shoot somebody.
I'll shoot that guy.
Yeah, that guy's pretty good to get off the table. Oh, nice.
Alright, that is it.
Alright, so you'll shuffle and redraw. So I forged. You didn't stop me though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll get a key in there. I am going to say Brobnar. I'm going to play Bumpsy. Bumpsy, when he comes into play, your opponent loses 1 amber. I am going to play Crump. And I am Terror and the Lash are both ready for you. I can trade Smash off. I guess that's what I do. I'll have Fire Spitter fight the Terror. Because that gets me some amber. And then Smash and War Drummer are both going to reap. And it is your turn. I will draw 2.
Okay, I will say Untamed.
Oh, when the Fire Spitter attacked, he did 1 damage to all of your guys. Dominator wouldn't take anything, but the Niflake would take 1. So.
Okay. Alright, I will save the pack.
Okay. So you do gain a chain, but it's going to kill a lot of my guys. And you will get all this amber back, because the Charette will die.
Amber.
Okay. All these guys are dead.
Play a Dew Fairy.
Okay.
These guys are.
Yeah.
Play Shorta. Sorry. So I can lose 1 and Forge.
Yep. Spin the 6.
I guess I can use this Bear Flute.
Alright, so my turn. I am going to say Logos. I'm going to play Sloppy Lab Work. That lets me archive a card and then discard a card. I'm going to discard Toeless. It says each time a creature is destroyed, its opponent gains 1 amber. It doesn't seem particularly good here because I am in a situation where I can't kill your guys. No, it should not because you made my keys cost +1.
Oh yeah, you just went to 7. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm gonna play a Keo, and I'm gonna play a Dexter. And when Dexter's played, he captures 1 amber from you.
Okay.
And I don't want to use Mobius Scroll here, so it is your turn. I have 1 card in hand, so I'm gonna shuffle and draw 5. I will say check with 7, and it is your go. It is true. He did actually play at Planet Comics, so I can vouch for that. We're doing all right, Storm. How about you? I'll draw. Draw. Wingspan. Oh, that's cool. I have not had a chance to play that. I'm not one of these people who are mad that I didn't get to play that game.
These cards are all bad. I will. It's the least bad thing to do. I guess I'll say Untamed.
They look like the like those malt eggs that you get around like Easter time or whatever. You just want to.
I'll do Untamed. I'll play Curiosity.
My scientists. Okay, so Dexter, when he is destroyed, he goes to the top of the deck. So he'll go right there.
That's fine. Reap.
Yep.
Reap.
Yep.
Reap.
Yep.
So does he have to still be on the table?
He still has to be on the table.
Okay, so if I kill him.
Yeah.
So I will fight him with the Ancient Bear.
Okay, so Assault 2 happens before the fight, so you'll put 2 damage into him, and then 5 damage and 6 damage they will trade.
Yeah,
Crumple
and then
die.
I will Bear Flute him back into play.
Okay, yep. And I believe you actually shuffle your discard pile into your deck when you Bear Flute.
Yep.
Okay, so. Did you ever play, what was that game called? Dominant Species? It's not just dinosaurs. It's like a bunch of different species of stuff. I don't think it's quite the same as Wingspan because I have never had a chance to actually like look at the layout of Wingspan.
Check.
But Dominant Species is pretty good. All right, so I'll Forge for 7. I will keep you off that key.
Don't do that.
I'm going to play a Toxin. I'm going to play a Pit Demon. Then I will play Pandemonium. So I'm going to put this on the Murmook, and then these guys are going to capture 1. And it is your turn, and we'll draw 3. Dominant species is a bit older. I want to say it's almost 10 years old now, but it's pretty cool. Extinction. Okay, I've not heard of that.
I will do Untamed.
Okay.
Seems like the best thing to do.
You have a lot of value on the board.
Yeah, this guy's really good.
Yeah, he's hidden behind the Dominator. I don't have like a clean way to get to him.
It's good. It's real good. We'll fight this guy.
Okay, so we'll trade.
I'll do 2 there.
Assault is the creature that you're attacking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they'll trade.
Well,
Bearfleet.
Bearfleet 'em.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Reap. Play Nicolate. Alright, check.
Okay. I guess I have to say Brobnar here. I'm gonna play a Screech Bomb. I am gonna punch the Murmook. So he will die. I'm gonna play Brothers in Battle. I'll say Dis, but I probably won't fight with this guy. I think he's more valuable to me alive. Bumpsy. I gotta get some of these nerds off the table.
Nerds.
Bumpsy is gonna fight Niffle Ape. And that's it. It's your turn. You do get to forge. I will draw 3.
You want me to just keep saying Untamed? Over and over
I don't know. Not particularly.
But I do. Alright.
Yeah. Broderick was pointing out a play there, Paul. You could have Chota fight somebody and die, and then fight with the Ancient Bear, then use the Bear Flute to shuffle him back into your deck.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you have access to him to like forge a key sneakily.
That's fair. Alright, I will say Mars, play Soft Landing.
Oh no.
This Bolter.
Make sure you use your Crystal Hive before you do anything with your Mars guys.
Just live. Just because I'm thinking about it. I'll play this gun on him.
Oh no. He's got the strap now.
He's gonna shoot people.
Paul and I used to play the Star Wars Deciphered card game, and the Star Trek Deciphered card game, and I don't think there's only like a couple of card games that I think are more complicated than those games. One of those being the original Dune card game, which I could get my hands on some of those cards somewhere along the way. If anybody's ever interested in like a Nathan looks at like old card games content where I just go through and just blather about old games. But the Dune card game had an exchange rate for spice based off of how much of it was in play. So like the more spice was in play, the less it was worth. So the rules, like, it took me, I don't know how many times. I think I was like 22 before I finally like figured out the rules to the Dune card game, because there's like you have cards that are played eventually. Like you have cards that accumulate counters, but you can also like spend money to like force them out faster. So yeah, it would be. I mean, Paul would 100% play the Star Wars card game with me.
Oh yeah.
For a nostalgia stream, and same thing with probably Star Trek too. But
if only I had those cards still.
Yeah.
Oh well. I will reap with this guy.
Yep.
I'll shoot him.
Okay. You do get to shoot multiple times.
I'll shoot him with his
the purging.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get that. Bumpty is purged.
2 to that guy.
And this guy gets shot for 2.
Then I will use.
Did you get 2 amber when you reaped with him?
Oh. No. Is it 2?
Yeah. Well, so you get one for reaping, and then
Yep.
he'd get another one for reaping. So.
And then I will use the custom virus.
Okay.
To discard this Pit Fiend to get rid of all demons.
Okay. He is actually purged with that card, I believe.
Yes.
But you will destroy Toxin.
And then I will deep probe and say Logos.
Oh, God. I've discarded so many cards this game. You got a Dexter and a Mother. Oh, I've discarded so many cards. Oh, God. It hurts.
Right. Check.
Okay. It's my turn. I am going to put my archives in my hand, and I'm going to say Logos. I'm going to start with a Neurosiphon. So I steal 1 from you because you have more amber than me, and then I get to draw a card.
Good.
Oh man, that would have been sweet. I'm going to play a Wild Wormhole. So it's going to play the top card of my deck. It's a Trimmer. You could have actually unstunned him.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to stun him now. And he's going to stun his neighbors. So he's got the Bolter and the Dew Fairy. I'm going to discard Rocket Boots. I'm going to play Fogify, so you can't fight on your next turn.
Good.
I'm going to use the Mobius Scroll to archive 2 cards.
Good.
And then I'm going to Screech Bomb and blow up 2 of your amber. I'll say check with 7 and then draw 6 cards. You only had 3 people remind you to unstun the Dominator.
Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I would have had a really sweet turn with Logos because I would have been able to play the Mother and he wouldn't have been able to fight into it, and then Dexter also would have taken care, because I was actually 1 amber off of not actually being able to stop him. So
Alright, I will say this. I guess I will Tendrils of Pain.
okay,
My own dudes.
he has armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got there.
I'll use Lash. Plus Ember Imp.
Okay, so can't play more than 2 cards.
Play Terror.
Yep.
And then I will discard. Discard. And check.
Okay. I'll put my archives into my hand, and I am going to say Dis. I'm going to use Hand of Dis to destroy your Ember Imp.
Okay.
And then I will play Charette.
My god.
And I will say check with 7. And it is your turn.
I will this again. So I'll put 2 lash.
Okay.
I will fight with the terror. Mind barb.
Ooh, this is spicy. Discarded so many cards. But you do it to me. Oh my god, he's so good at the game. I can't believe how good you are.
Oh man.
Yo, he discarded Drumble. He discarded the Drumble.
Alright, I'll say check.
I can't stop you. Well, I guess I can play this Wild Wormhole. I'll say Logos. I'll play Wild Wormhole. I'll get a sloppy lab work, but that'll be the game. I can't stop you. So he's too.
I'm so good at this game.
He's too good at random discards.
Look, sometimes you just gotta be good at discarding cards.
So that's that. So there you go. That's Keyforge, Paul. You have any thoughts about it? How would you stack this up to some classics that we've played? For me, the stuff that I like about this game is the surprising amount of depth once you actually get into the game.
Yeah. I wasn't really expecting so many
interactions.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
since you expect, since you can't interact with the opponent's turn, it's like
yeah.
What can you do?
But I think there's several clever things that happen that aren't like immediately obvious in this game. One of the first clever things is that you have all of your cards at the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So you could be thinking about what you want to do while the opponent is taking the turn.
It's very much chess-like.
Yeah.
In that sense. Yeah.
Right. And then another clever thing I think is like the capturing mechanic. Where guys on board have ways to stop, to interact with your opponent's amber, and then matter, make you want to interact with them on the board.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just like if there was nothing that your opponent could do, like stealing your amber, it's like why do you fight the creatures?
Yeah, so. Exactly, right. I think they went overboard in the second set. You haven't played any of the second set yet. But in the second set, there are like multiple cards that say when your opponent's creature reaps, stun it. Or there's like one that's like when a creature reaps, sacrifice that creature. So yeah, there's a lot of cards. There's just like a straight up Sanctum dude that says your opponents can't reap. So yeah, there's a lot of like cards that force interaction between the players. Which, like I said, I think they kind of went overboard on it. They probably could have spread that out through a couple of sets. So that ends up making the board state kind of bogged down. There's a lot of back and forth in the game from what you probably saw there, where they're pretty huge swings back and forth. There's like a lot of board wipes. There's a lot of things that do a lot of damage.
Right, yep.
A lot of the control cards in the game, like punish your opponent if they do something. A lot of times, if you go over a certain amount of amber, you're gonna get hit hard.
Yeah, like that dude I discarded, I would have just lost.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have lost the game, but it would have been delayed me.
Right. Well, what I was trying to do is I was trying to force you into a board state where you couldn't say dis. And the thing with Lash is that there's several situations in the late game where you don't have enough discards to play, and you don't have a way to generate amber, but the Lash is the only thing keeping you from losing the game, so you're trapped in like a cycle of using the Lash.
Right, which was essentially where I was. Yeah,
so I was hoping to force that state, but the Mind Barb did it. Drumble's elusive, so you would have needed 2 disc creatures to attack him. Now it's possible you could have drawn enough Mermooks to also get you out of the hole too, because I think that deck has like 3 Mermooks or something. It's got 3.
I was gonna say it definitely had 2.
So you
and
could.
I had 1 Mermook in my hand.
Yeah, but I was at 7. I knew I had to go to at least 7 to get around the Mermooks. Yeah, I think the big difference in that game is just the sheer number of cards you discarded. You like missed on the first deep probe, but then each deep probe after that was like 2+ cards. So it just like ruined turns.
Well, there was really nothing on the first deep probe that I could have hit. I don't think you had any creatures in your hand.
Yeah, so I had 1. I had Charette, but it was not going to be the house I was going to say. Next, but you did a good call. You had real good reads on the on those next ones, right? Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, you haven't said his house.
Yeah, that's essentially what I was going off as. Like, what has he not said lately? You probably got a lot of cards. Right.
Yeah, so you made real good reads there, and it paid off for you big time. So I think the game was super close as it was, right? It's just like a couple of amber.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those things where missing on 1 card there like could have like been pretty bad. So does the deck have 2 deep probes or just it's got 2?
As I say, it's gotta have 2.
It also has the pith seed, so right, so you could set up a turn where you deep probe and then the pith seed it back and deep probe again. You hit if you hit, and then if you the next time you know what you gotta hit. So discard piles are public knowledge too. So especially if you get later in the later through the game, you can kind of go through the discard pile and like, oh, they got 8 Sanctum guys, they got 2 Sanctum cards in play.
So these decks have like equal amount of each house?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep, 12 of each. Yeah. Okay. There's some misprint decks out there that are kind of like anomalies and just kind of weird stuff to have, but they're not going to be like tournament. Nobody's going to play those in a tournament because they wouldn't be tournament legal. But every deck is third. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got any other questions about the game? Any other comments you'd want to make?
No, I blame Justin for not letting me play this sooner.
Yeah.
It's Justin's fault.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we can all blame Justin.
I was gonna say everything that bad has happened in my life.
It's Justin's fault.
It's Justin's fault.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, so we're going to close the getaway. We're going to real quick talk about. I got 11 entrants. We got Ultra Gecko. We got Harley. We got Assembling Kings. We got Broderick. We got Briar Stupid. We got Mr. Durkins, 80 Keen, Titan's Oak, Sean Walt, Bill I Am, and Storm Strong. So, those are the entrants. If there's anybody who wants to enter. Last second, anyone, any viewers, I'm giving you the 5 second countdown.
5 second countdown.
4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're gonna close it. So you just hit the close button there. We'll let Paul draw the winner, so you guys can blame. Is there a draw?
There's a draw winner.
All right, smash that MF draw winner button. Who's won?
Assembling Kings.
Assembling Kings. Assembling Kings is the winner. So, Assembling Kings, are you in our Discord? If you're not in our Discord, allow me to link the Discord. Jump in the Discord. I'm Nathan in that Discord. You can shoot me a message with your address that you would like that shipped to, and I will get that shipped out sometime in the next week. Probably not Tuesday, probably not Thursday because I got things going on those days. Maybe I'm streaming tomorrow, so not tomorrow. Streaming Wednesday, so probably ship it out Wednesday. So, all right,
you're making him wait for his prize.
It's like first class, man. First class, whatever. Are you domestic? Are you like in the U.S. or are you EU. It doesn't matter. You don't have to say anything that you don't want to in stream, but just shoot me the message, and then I'll get you taken care of. Oh yeah, Harley and what was his name? Niels. Poor Harley and Niels had to wait like 2 months and a half, something like that.
Oh, they foreign?
Yeah. With the USPS page, for whatever reason, wouldn't let me ship first class international. It wouldn't let me I had to go through stamps.com to do it. So stamps.com ain't paying me to say that name. So
well, the
hashtag
postal service is not either.
Hashtag sponsor us, you coward. Yeah, well, postal service belongs to all of us, so I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Stamps.com doesn't. So, all right. Anyway, that's it. You got anything? That's it. That's it. Say goodbye. Goodbye. Wave.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That's it. Closing down the stream. Okay, hang on. All right, we gotta press this. So what? Okay, here's the joke. The joke I'm gonna make is that I'm gonna turn off the microphone, but I'm not gonna turn off the microphone while I turn on the music, and I'm gonna pretend like the microphone's turned off. You ready, Paul? I'm turning off the microphone.
Why would we do this?
Paul, I turned off the microphone. But now they're gonna get some lo-fi hip-hop beats to chill and relax to. But there we go. Oh no, I'm clicking banners. I'm clicking banners over here. Clicking banners. I got them beats. Alright, anyway guys, bye-bye. Extra content for you. We got the Amber Clink ASMR on the way out. See you guys.
Got the mics.